Welcome back, Unfiltered Influence, episode 2. Hopefully this is a video portion. Hopefully we get that done this time because we completely just utterly screwed it up the last time.
Yeah.
Terrible. No excuse. The SD card. So I checked beforehand when I tried to do it, and the SD card ended up being full like 15 minutes into the episode, and I didn't realize until like after I checked, obviously. And that was a big bummer because the episode was actually pretty good for the first one. Like it sounded good on Spotify and everything else. But since that time, we also had a couple things else go good for us. I should say, because we had a logo update. We had somebody else make a better version of our logo. It looks pretty clean. We have 2 concepts. Shout out to my guy Asher on Fiverr. If you guys never need like a logo, go to him. He's gets it done quick, and I love ours. We also set up a merch shop. It'll be in the description. You could click it, go there, check it out. Just look at the stuff maybe. But it'll be in the YouTube description, and it'll also be in the somewhere in the Spotify description. So click that, check it out. Pretty cool designs in my opinion. Did you get the chance to look at it yet?
I did.
You did?
I did look at it. I liked them.
I liked it too.
Nice.
The UI looks dope. Let's be honest. It looks pretty cool. The unfiltered influence, the sound waves. It looks dope. It looks dope. We do have a lot to talk about today. As we're filming this, it's Saturday the 29th, and there's a whole Brady debacle going on right now. So first, Adam Schefter tweeted that, hey, Tom Brady's decided to call it quits. Everybody posted their things saying, GOAT talk, this, that, because he is a GOAT. I put it on my thing. I said, like him or hate him, he's the greatest to ever do it at his position. But he pulled out the metaphorical Uno reverse card and said, no. Well, actually, his dad said, no. Tommy has not made a decision yet. And the Bucs kind of backed it up, saying, yeah, he said that he is far away from making a decision. So we kind of got that going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with that man.
I mean,
I called you on the way to work, and you didn't even know.
No, I had no idea. I was
told
buying
you to
some
look,
stuff.
and then literally like an hour later, I get the notification. It's like, oh, well, Tom Brady has not announced officially to Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he has retired yet. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it was a bit of a
and
wild.
Like Bleacher Report, BR Gridiron, NFL, everyone, all these sports apps were posting everything, tributes, GOAT, like 7 rings, all this bullcrap, or all everything he's done in his career, and like basically saying how great he was because he was great, and then all of a sudden,
tragedy just struck Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington, saying,
I don't even know what to think.
Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I guess we.
And
just
I
don't
was
know.
I was surprised at first because I didn't necessarily expect it because, I mean, I don't know. There's 2 different sides of the equation where you could either he could retire this year, still performing at a very high level and basically go out with a good reputation on his name, or he could keep going until he starts becoming ass, if that ever happens.
It's crazy.
And then he'd leave because it doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah,
almost like Ben.
Because he could still, and I know it's not likely, but because him and Rodgers both went out in the same round, but it's not that far-fetched to say that he could be the MVP this year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was surprised.
Which is insane, like that a player would go out after an MVP season, especially Tom Brady. Like that's you just don't ever see that happening. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
And that's why I was surprised because he has more in the tank. It's not like he doesn't.
He very clearly does. Yeah.
And I do not see a point to where like he's just gonna come back next year and let's say Father Time finally does hit him. I don't think it's gonna be like a 10 touchdown, 20 interception year. He's still gonna have a decent year where he can be like, all right, I'm on the downfall now. I had a not as great year as I normally do, so let me just call it quits now before it gets bad.
Yeah. No,
and it's not like because I don't think that's ever gonna, or I don't think that would happen next year.
I don't think so.
Like I said, I mean, I don't know. The dude's what, 45?
Yeah,
45 now.
45. 45. Let me just, these insiders have a very tough job, right? Let's not act like they don't. I mean, they have to reach out to a lot of people. They have to maintain a lot of relationships. They have to do a lot of things.
Have a lot of things to deal with.
And being first is important. It's almost the most important thing. You have to be first on stories. And so we've seen reporters overshoot stuff at times. It's not like this is the first time we've ever seen it. It's just because Tom Brady, the magnitude of what it could be, him retiring, the greatest of all time retiring. That's why it's being made such a big deal, obviously. But the insider game is very, very tough, and it's a brutal job. But I just I feel like if you're going to break a story like this, you have to be 100% sure.
Yeah, I know.
Like you cannot, there can't be even a sliver of a chance that Tom would be like, oh, you know what? I think I wanna play another year. So I think that this is a very, very, I hate to say bad job, but I'll call it slip up. A very bad slip up from Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington because of the magnitude of the situation. But outside the Brady stuff, I still want to talk about it a little more. A couple other things that we're going to be talking about is AFC, NFC championship predictions, which will be coming out tomorrow. You guys are probably listening and watching this either directly after those games or the day after, so Monday. So we'll give our predictions and we'll talk about the lines for those games. We're also talking about Sean Payton stepping down as the head coach for the New Orleans Saints. A kind of a move that shocked some people. If you really paid attention to the situation, you wouldn't be that shocked by it, to be honest. And then we'll also talk about the Francis Ngannou versus the UFC situation. That's a big thing going down in the MMA world. It's the biggest story probably in years for the UFC, and it's not a good one. And we'll also talk about Adesanya versus Whittaker 2, which is happening in 14 days, exactly 2 weeks from when we're recording this. We'll give a little insight on that. But going back to the Brady thing, if he retires, do you think that there will ever be another player that could ever accomplish what he has accomplished?
Yeah, I do. And I feel like most people now would be like, oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is going to do the same thing. I'm not even necessarily going to say that. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be very hard, but, I mean, we're getting to a point where, like, I feel like there is just the athletic lottery is significantly better now than it was multiple years ago, decades ago. As time goes on, technology gets better, medicine gets better.
Yep.
Everything like that, and
podcasts get better. Point case an example.
So yeah, Tom Brady made it to 44, 45, however old he is, but he was also not looked at as the greatest athlete ever. Still not. I mean,
You mean in football?
Yeah, he can't really run. He can't really jump. He's just not that athletic. So you find someone that maybe is a little more athletic than him, has the same skill set, and has the same opportunity with their body and everything. It's definitely possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, dude. 7 rings as a quarterback. To even get the chance to get a chance to go to the Super Bowl 7 times, let alone win 7 of them, is hard.
Dude, Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, didn't win any.
Yeah, I know.
For my Dolphins,
it's not easy. You got to have the right team, the right coach. Everything's got to go right for you. And I mean, that can happen. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say it's impossible.
I don't think.
Will it ever happen? Don't know. Maybe. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, So, little disclaimer: I don't watch any WWE, and I know that you don't either. But there's one event that I'll watch every single year just to give myself that nostalgia factor of watching it again. It's a Royal Rumble, and it's on right now. So just in the background, that's why we're recording this, just to kind of give us something to look at for a second. When we're not talking. But
damn,
man,
bro, some long hair.
I feel like a little kid again watching this. You know what I mean? Like, I remember me and my buddies used to watch watch this religiously. Like, this is bigger than I think WrestleMania is their biggest thing, but this was bigger at the time, like when we were watching, than WrestleMania, and I think it still is. But we were just all wait not a whole year for this to come on. That's how big of a thing it used to be. And it's just cool, very, 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 very cool to watch it again. It gives that big nostalgia factor, and seeing all these old wrestlers come out, even in the women's Royal Rumble, it's just it's something to watch for sure, man. It makes you feel young again. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. But let's get in. We talked about Brady enough, I think, in my opinion. We gave him a long time there, which he deserved it. Let's be honest. He's the greatest. And
there's not much we can go towards because we don't know yet.
That's very true.
Is he actually done or what's going on? So
I don't know. That nobody does, especially Jeff Darlington and Adam Schefter. So
hopefully we find out by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope Tom Brady makes a video or just maybe even a tweet, just something to give us some sort of clearance on it.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Very, very weird.
Odd.
Yeah.
What happened?
But all right, moving on to the next thing, AFC, NFC. championships are tomorrow. We got Joe Burrow versus Patty Mahomes. Joe Shiesty and his Bengals taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, probably the best team in football right now, playing each other in the AFC Championship. And then the NFC Championship, we got two California teams. We got the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. So let's start on the NFC side of things because we're farther away from that and we're closer to the Bengals situation given that we live a couple hours away from Cincy. Let's start with the NFC. Who do you have and why do you have this team that you're going to pick?
I mean, I think the clear answer for most people are going to pick is LA. I don't want to say it's hard for me to pick them because I do want to pick them, and I think that is my pick. I think they are going to win. For one, I think 49ers have beat them twice already. It's going to be very hard to beat them a third time, and also in the second biggest game of the year for both of them.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you.
But I also don't necessarily want to just forget about the 49ers because all it takes is for Jimmy G to have a great game, and they could be the best team in football.
Those are very sparing, though, for Jimmy G.
I know, and that's the problem. He can be – I mean, he's not like a – like I saw something that Deebo Samuel tweeted it, something about Jimmy G or something about everyone talking shit about their QB, even though he's like 5-1 in the playoffs or something. Basically, he's never lost a game besides the Super Bowl. And he was like, until he loses, then watch your mouth, basically. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Deebo, listen. Your quarterback, I'm pretty confident. I know he didn't have a touchdown versus Green Bay. I don't think he had a touchdown in the first game either.
I don't know.
I'm very confident that
they had
that
3
he did
touchdowns that game, so he might have had at least one.
He could be rushing though.
I don't know. Well, that's still a touchdown in my eyes. It doesn't matter. Unless it was like a literal design play.
Okay, so second question: if you're taking the Rams, like I will be when it gets to me, I will be too. But do you take them minus 3.5? Do you think that they cover the spread? That's another big thing, especially for sports bettors.
If the Rams win, I would say it's going to be either 7 to 10. It's either going to be a touchdown or 10 points.
You think touchdown or 10 points?
Yeah. And I think if the 49ers win, it'll be probably a field goal maybe.
You think it'll be a field goal?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 points probably for 49ers.
So
honestly, if I made my own line, whatever, I would probably have. I could say 49ers would win the line if they were +5.
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with you here. I think
whatever.
Yeah, I think Rams win and cover minus 3.5. I was right with Jimmy Garoppolo. He has not had a touchdown in the playoffs yet. He has a pick against Dallas, and he didn't have any touchdowns against Green Bay. So he's not had a throwing touchdown in the playoffs yet, and he's too deep at this point. I can't trust a team that quarterback hasn't played well all season. You drafted a guy this year to replace him inevitably because he hasn't been living up to the standards that you wanted him to. So I can't take a team in the 49ers. Granted, they have a stellar defense. I mean, an absolute stellar defense. Arguably the best in the league. I don't think so, but probably if top 3, if not 1. So, granted, they have a very good defensive unit, but Deebo can't do everything, and he's been banged up the past couple weeks. He's been dealing with a couple injuries. So, I also like the Rams. The Rams proved a lot to me in that win against the Bucs. You know, any team could have folded very easily against Tom Brady when he's making a comeback like that. But no, Matt Stafford had ice in his veins. As much as I hate to say it, because I say it every episode, he screwed me in fantasy. Like
that last drive was amazing. Yeah. Like that throw to Cooper Kupp.
The loft pass was insane.
Beautiful.
Very few quarterbacks in the league can make that throw in a situation like that. So I take the Rams very confidently minus 3.5. I think the odds bettors kind of made I don't want to say an easy line, because when I see a line like this, they know more than most people. The odds makers, Vegas controls most of the world, I like to say, but I think that this is an easy pick for me. It's minus 3.5 Rams all day. I'm hammering that. You know, I don't live in a sports betting state that's legal yet, quote unquote, but let's hypothetically say I do bet on this game, which you know. I'm hammering that line. It's not even close. I'm destroying the line. Rams minus 3.5 all day. Give me that. Moving on to the AFC side of things, though. Bengals versus Chiefs.
I feel like this is the same way. I'm going to be completely honest. There, in both of these games, there is one clear favorite, and I don't think anyone should be surprised if either of the non-favorited teams play in the Super Bowl, especially against each other.
I would be.
I wouldn't be surprised because, I mean, like I said, for go backwards real quick, like, I mean, all it takes is Jimmy G to have a decent, good game and their defense to play like they always play, and they could win that game. And then same thing. I'm going to take the Chiefs for one. Bengals already beat them a couple weeks ago. Just don't think it's going to be easy to beat the Chiefs 2 times in a season, especially at home or especially in Arrowhead. In the NFC or the AFC Championship. I don't know who that is.
Ronda Rousey.
Oh shit.
No, but yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
You think Chiefs?
But I don't.
-7 though. -7 though. Do you take the spread?
No.
Do you go against the spread? Oh, not too confident in this one.
I think I would take Cincinnati -7.
Oh, really?
Well, no,
So you mean +7?
Yeah. I'd take Cincinnati +7.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game. I think it's gonna be a shootout. And like I said, I mean, I'm taking the Chiefs, but I won't be surprised if it goes the other way.
So
Joe Burrow's on fire right now. I mean, he got sacked way too much in that last game.
Yeah,
and that's been
9 times.
That's been
9 times.
That's been the issue.
And won
the last 2 years, not even just this year. It's just their line's a little questionable sometimes, but
yeah,
still won them the game even though he got sacked 9 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good
No.
that he got sacked 9 times, but they still won, and that's all that matters. So as long as they can clean that shit up. I mean, they have one of the best safeties over the top
Mhm.
in Jesse Bates.
Yep.
They have one of the best slot.
They have Von Bell too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even know. But they have one of the best slot cornerbacks in the game.
Mhm.
Who made an absolutely insane play last week.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, their defense. I mean, they have. Who do they have coming off the? Or I know they have. I think they have Larry Ogunjobi at DT.
Mhm.
He's very good. He used to play for the
No,
Browns.
I think Ogunjobi's out.
Is he really out?
Yeah, I think he's out.
Okay, well then he won't be playing.
But they still have enough.
They have good ends. I mean, their defense is solid. It's not.
So
that's the only problem that I would have is the offensive line. But if we're being honest, I don't know how much better the Chiefs is. The Chiefs D line really that much better than Tennessee's?
Frank Clark and Chris Jones, man. Yeah,
that's true.
It's a lot better.
That's true.
Like a lot better. So here, let me make my prediction real quick because I haven't made mine. Now there is a phrase. It's called bet and choose with your brain, not your heart. Right? I'm gonna do the opposite of that because I have to. I just love Joe Burrow too much. I'm taking the Bengals. I think that they're gonna win. I know I think that it could be a little bit of for the Chiefs. It could be a little bit of like a hangover game. I know it's crazy as it is to say.
What?
Do you know how much that type of game in Buffalo takes out of you? Do you know how much?
It wasn't in Buffalo. It was in Arrowhead.
Or sorry, I meant to say against Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how much that game against Buffalo takes out of you? I mean, that's a long game with a lot going on. That's a lot, like, I think that they could easily not overestimate, but I think that they could easily look past the Bengals in a sense, because of the sacks. You know, think about it. Stylistically, they're probably thinking we match up so well against these guys. Our D tackles are so good. Their offensive line's been struggling. We can score the ball at will. These guys don't stand a chance. And I could see Joe Burrow coming out and just throwing to that elite wide receiving core just over and over and over again against. Let's not forget the Chiefs defense is okay now.
Is Tyrann Mathieu gonna play?
I don't know.
He left last game
with a concussion. Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna play or not.
I don't know. I know Bosa's playing for the Niners.
There were times in that game where, like, I think it was. I don't remember what touchdown it was, but it was towards the end of the game where Gabriel Davis had that play where it was
up the middle.
Up the middle. I mean, that was Tyrann Mathieu's spot that he would have been there.
Yep.
And he wasn't there.
So thing is though, we've seen that the Chiefs defense can be extremely bad and very spotty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we know that. What's to say they don't revert back to how they were in the early regular season, and Joe Burrow just doesn't go crazy against that at times very like poor defense. Like who's to say that doesn't happen and the Bengals go to the Super Bowl? I want to see it just because A, they're an Ohio team. B, I like Joe Burrow, even though he didn't really play at Ohio State, he was still there for a portion of time. I just think it's a feel good story that I want to go with. My heart says with 100% just take the Bengals. If it doesn't work out, the Chiefs go to another Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the Bengals.
I mean,
and I'm taking Bengals +7 obviously because I think they'll win. So
I would take Bengals +7 too, but I think a lot of the things you just said are basically relying and hoping on long shots.
yeah, I mean,
so I don't.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's
for
not,
one, I don't think the Chiefs are going to overlook anyone, especially the Bengals right now. Like, I don't think any pro team would ever look past anyone. So that take, I thought, I mean, it's just a little.
Well, I mean, I think they can though.
I don't know. I don't see any. To me, if you're in the AFC Championship with a team, it doesn't matter if they're the last seed in the playoffs or if they're the first seed. They made it there somehow, so they're hot.
I guess. I don't know.
So, but and then for me, it's a little. I know you said you like the feel good story. I have no problems with Joe Burrow. I actually kind of like a lot of the kids or a lot of people on that team. Joe Burrow,
that's right. You're a Browns fan, so you probably want them to lose.
Yeah, no, I don't really want. I don't like to be a hater. I just don't want them to win. I would. It doesn't matter if it was the Ravens, Pittsburgh, or Bengals. I wouldn't want any of them to win.
See that? Okay,
because I don't like
that.
any of
I
them.
get it for you.
Yeah,
I'm a Dolphins fan, so obviously not.
Yeah,
I wanted the Bills to lose.
But if it was the Bills going against the Bengals, you would. Actually, that's a bad bad way to put it because you still want the Bengals to win. But anyways, it's a little different for me. I'm not necessarily rooting for them.
If it was Bills Chiefs in this round, I would obviously go like against the Bills because I don't want them to win. So,
but I'm a realist. So if I really think the Bengals are gonna win, I would have picked them.
Yeah.
Even if, because like I said, I'm not rooting for them to win. I don't root for anyone in my division.
No, I don't blame you.
So, but I'm not gonna oh my God, end of the world, start crying if they do win.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just saw Lita throw a hurricane run off the top rope like it was 2005. Holy shit. Okay, so we made our predictions. We talked about the NFC and AFC Championship. We talked about Brady. Let's get to another topic that wasn't really expected by some, but if you were close to the situation, if you paid real attention to what's been going on with the Saints organization the past couple of years, this shouldn't be a complete shock. Sean Payton steps down as the Saints coach. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl there with Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees retired last year. Look, the Saints are the team over the cap the most. They don't have a clear-cut quarterback that can actually play and work in a system yet. Jameis Winston was hot in the beginning of the year until he got injured, but now he's coming off an injury. Taysom Hill hasn't proved that he's that guy yet. And you threw Trevor Siemian in there just because you were out of guys at one point. And Ian Book started. And Ian
Book's played one game or two games.
My Dolphins sent him back to the college days, choking in a big game on primetime. Classic Ian Book and Notre Dame quarterback. Anyway. Did I say that? But no, in all seriousness, I think that if you were close and you pay attention to the Saints situation, this shouldn't be a shock. It really shouldn't. I mean, at some point you got to look around and be like, what more can I really do to help a program? You know what I mean? Like, how much can I truly do with what I have? We can't sign free agents because we're so far over the cap. Our draft, we're like mid of the first round, so it's not like we can get a special game changer there. We don't have anybody in-house that can do it. I think it's time to step down. That's probably what he was thinking. So I don't blame him for making the move. I think it was honestly pretty smart. I mean, what do you think? Because I think that this was the right time for him to leave that organization.
Well, hasn't he always had Drew Brees?
I believe so.
As long as he's there, he's always had Drew Brees.
Until this last year.
Correct.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying as soon as Drew Brees got there, Sean Payton was. I don't know the timeline, but I'm pretty sure Sean Payton has always had Drew Brees, for all I know.
At least for the most part.
Yeah, for the
majority.
Obviously, at least for the main glory years. Obviously, the last couple of years when they won the Super Bowl, which was 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So
they beat the
for
Colts
this whole decade, he's had Drew Brees, and Drew Brees is great. He is a wonderful outlet. It's great for a coach, huh?
Dude, I'm saying
Okay.
you're good. I'm just making sure you're talking on the mic because sometimes it faints a little bit. That's all. It's just
Oh, okay.
making sure.
When a coach has a great quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
it helps a lot.
well, yeah. I mean,
So
Brian Flores got fired because he couldn't stand 2 anymore. So look at that.
well,
I don't want to talk about it. That's for another time. That I don't feel like crying on the podcast, Zach. So I don't really
don't
talk
blame
about
you.
that. So anyway,
I mean, I knew they were in a bad situation with Cap, severely bad situation.
terrible.
But I don't know how easy or hard it would have been to trade for someone,
Yeah.
possibly.
Insanely
But
hard
I
because
mean-
you got to make money match, and when you're over the
Yeah, I
cap
know.
that hard, you know how hard it is to make money match.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm sure it wouldn't have been easy to go for someone like
No,
Russell Wilson or anyone like that.
damn near impossible. Damn.
So I
near
mean, I could see
impossible.
where you're coming from, and I could also see where people are
Yeah.
surprised because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when a coach is there for as long as he was there,
It feels like he'll be there forever.
yeah, it's just you get a connection. I mean, like the day that Bill Belichick leaves / retires, people are just gonna be
I will be an extremely happy man.
in awe.
I will be singing to the heavens the day that happens.
It's just how it goes. It's a business, and yeah, I'm sure
You're right.
he got to that point to where he was like he didn't have his Drew Brees, and the team situation isn't
Great.
in the greatest position.
It's ass. It's one of the worst in the league. It's
So-
damn near at the Giants level. Let's be honest. By the way, Giants hired
I know there's been a
Dable.
couple
Dable.
hirings,
We'll
but-
talk about that in a bit though. Anyway, back to Payton.
So, yeah, I mean, I can see both sides.
Now, there was an interesting question posed on the Colin Cowherd show. By the way,
I think
Ronda
she just won.
Ronda Rousey just won the Women's Royal Rumble. Shocker there. You bring back one of the biggest stars in your organization
Who's
too.
that? Do you know who that is?
Charlotte Flair. She just beat Charlotte Flair for what? So she's going to the Rumble. She's gonna win it, or she's going to the WrestleMania. She's gonna win at WrestleMania. For anybody that's wondering, bet the house on that. Oh wait, you can't bet on WWE because it's scripted. But anyway, we got so caught up there in this, but no, like I was saying, when it comes to like Sean Payton, there was an interesting question that I heard first on the Coward show when he was talking to Peter Schrager. Do you think that? Do you think he goes? There's 3 options and 3 routes he can really go down.
Mm-hmm.
He could A, go into retirement. He could B, go into broadcasting, which I think he would kill. He would do great at that, in my opinion. Or 3, he could go to another organization. Which one do you think is most likely?
Most likely?
Which one do you think is most likely? Not which one do you want. Which one do you think is most likely?
I honestly, okay, how old is he?
He's older. I don't know. I'll Google its exact age.
See, like, obviously, there's not really an old age for coaching unless you physically
No,
can't walk and speak
look
and
at Belichick.
see. Yeah, I
His
know.
old ass.
It's as long as you're a great mind, you can be a coach. 'Cause it's not really hard labor anymore. You don't really do anything besides.
He's young, dude. He's not young, but he's not old. He's 58.
Yeah. So honestly, I mean,
He's got a couple years left, in my opinion. If he wanted to,
I don't think he's gonna retire. I don't
you
see
think
why.
so? Do you think he goes into broadcasting though?
No, I think he's
No.
I think he's gonna continue to coach.
Really? That's interesting.
I have like okay. So I have one specific friend is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Gavin?
Huh?
Gavin?
No.
Who?
It's Josh.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot Josh. I'm gonna text him after this.
He
I have his charger.
there's these like whatever.
Why do you say you have him?
Cowboys pages, huh?
You said you have a friend. It's like we.
I don't know. I just said I have a friend.
Wow. I see how it is. Is there something that Josh isn't telling me?
No.
All right. I'm gonna text him.
There's he has shown a couple pictures, and Mike McCarthy hasn't even been fired yet. I don't think. Right?
Somehow.
Yeah, and there's already pictures being posted on these Cowboys pages of like, oh, Sean Payton might come coach for us. I'm not saying he's gonna go there.
That's just classic Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
let's be
that's
honest.
just how it is. But yeah, I don't. I just feel like it's
So
I feel like it'd be odd.
it would be odd.
'Cause
It'd be very odd.
He's young.
And another thing.
He's younger. It's not like he's a bad coach. He's a great coach.
No, he's a great coach. He's one of the best in the league. Thing is, so
I could see him going somewhere else. I don't know where though, because I mean, there's the open. Who's all open right now? Giants are already gone.
Dolphins,
Obviously, the Dolphins.
Raiders.
Raiders are. I forgot about the Raiders.
Raiders are open.
Raiders are open.
Jacksonville, Houston.
See, like I feel like those spots, like in his position, Like, okay, if we ever go back to like back in time, what great-minded coach goes to a very bad team in a spot like that? Like, in my eyes, if he's leaving the Saints to go to a better organization, he's not going to go right to Houston or Jacksonville. Unless he can go to Jacksonville because he has Trevor Lawrence. But still, the team's not in a great spot. So he's going to have to go somewhere. If he does go somewhere, it's going to be somewhere like the Raiders, who has a chance, a couple more pieces, and they could be good.
So if he goes to a worse team, the most recent example of that would be, no, it's not head coach to head coach, and I hate to bring up the example because we just let him go, but Brian Flores went from the Patriots to winning Super Bowls to Miami, where his first season we won 4 games, and then we went over 500 the very next year after that. So that was the most recent example of a coach that went from all the way at the mountaintop to...
Yeah, but he wasn't a head coach.
No, but
it's a little different.
Most of the times you don't see head coaches going from one spot to another. You see assistants or coordinators.
Yeah, I know, but he's a head coach and he's going to go to another head coach. He's not going to be an assistant anywhere.
No, but I'm just saying you don't really see head coaches go from one spot to another, because if you're let go, most often you become a coordinator or you just retire. You don't see head coaches.
Well, was he really let go, or did he decide to step down?
No, he stepped down.
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily fired or anything.
No, but that's why the situation's so rare, because you never see a head coach get hired for another head coaching spot the next year. He usually becomes a coordinator. He or she usually becomes a coordinator or something like that.
Didn't Mike McCarthy get hired the next year?
No, I don't think so.
He took a year off?
I think he took a year off, which gets to what I think he will do. I think he will take a year off, and I wouldn't rule out the fact that he might go into the broadcast booth. I think that there could be a very cozy spot at one of these networks for him. So my personal opinion, I think his football days are behind him.
Cozy spot.
I do. I think that he can get a nice little cozy gig at like CBS or even maybe ESPN, doing like the thing that Gruden used to do with a quarterback room. I could see him going into a spot like that. So that's my prediction. I think he takes a year off and then he goes into broadcasting, maybe probably or TV somewhere, probably ESPN. All right, so let's shift topics. We talked about enough football. God knows we talked about enough football. This isn't just a sports podcast, and I say that going into another sports topic.
Yeah, I know. It's just a lot of sports.
It's just a lot of sports. I promise the next episode that we record,
we'll mix in a couple other things about culture or anything like that.
Well, pop culture, fun
other
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
But it's just mainly sports.
But going into another sports topic, because let's just get it all out in this episode. Let's sports only, I guess. UFC. So something massive happened last weekend. So are you familiar with the Ngannou situation? Did you look it up at all before?
I tried. I couldn't find anything. So
okay, so here's the deal. Ngannou feels like he should be paid more, a significant amount more than what he is. And honestly, he's right. He's making about $500K to fight, which is not a lot, because if you think about it, all the damage that UFC fighters take, especially the fact that he's the heavyweight champion of the world, that means that he is the baddest man on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
The UFC championship or the UFC heavyweight championship is whoever has that title is the baddest man on the planet. Unless Mike Tyson is in his prime, which he's not, he's the baddest man on the planet. So he's making $250 to show, $250 to win. So he doesn't always necessarily get $500K. He was in a very unique spot because he fought out the rest of his contract. So basically, when you're a UFC champion, or even in UFC, you have a select number of fights on your contract.
Mm-hmm.
And his last fight was...
That's how boxing works too.
And his last fight, just so happened to be the last weekend. Sorry, 1 sec. I got a text that Jesus. So he fought out his last fight last weekend, but there's a championship clause. A champion clause says this: you can either fight 3 more times or you can wait out a year. And he's fully prepared, he says, to wait out a year and then go from there, unless they can renegotiate a contract for him that ensures him more money per fight. And the reason that this is so big is because a lot of fighters are lobbying for better fighter pay, which I think they should. I think the UFC makes so much money with their shows and everything that they have enough to put it into fighter pay.
Yeah, do you see what Jake Paul said? If UFC fighters make more money, he's just going to go straight to UFC. He ain't going to care about boxing anymore.
He's a big advocate for that. He's huge. He's the biggest star that advocates for it. You know what I mean? So I think that when you see something like this, it's big because you never see the champion. I mean, the last time we saw a champion walk out on his organization and basically have him by a stranglehold, it was scripted. It was CM Punk. He walked out with the championship, quote unquote, and left the arena. And eventually he came back a few weeks later, but that was scripted. This is real life. He won the UFC championship, and now he's basically saying, hey, unless you pay me more, the best fighter, arguably in your organization in any weight class, is going to leave. That is huge for fighter pay because somebody's going to pay him, and that might hurt the UFC. We might see a competitor like Eagle FC, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov's organization, who's been taking shots at the UFC for not paying their fighters enough. You might see them start to become a bigger organization, or Bellator could strike on this. It's very, very big. It's the biggest thing we've seen in a while. And Francis could also go into boxing. Tyson Fury.
Him and Tyson Fury go back and forth the whole time.
They are lobbying for it. And honestly, if he fights Tyson Fury, even if he loses, it'll be the biggest payday in Francis' career. So there's no reason not to.
Boxing, as much as I love boxing, and as much as I go at it a lot because I hate the way it is run. I think it's so confusing. People like you that don't know very much about it.
God awful.
Like there's so much. Like I had to look up. So there's so many different terms. There's so many different organizations. There's so many different freaking promoters. It's just.
Yep.
I don't think it's run very good at all. I love the way the UFC is run. It's one organization. There's one owner, and there's 5 champions.
Way more. There's a lot. There's probably
there's only one champion per
division.
weight class.
Yes.
In boxing, there's 4. That's I don't know. It's just and they're all different organizations. They're all different payments.
WBO, whatever. Yeah.
WBO, WBA. Anyways, boxing is still a much bigger payday than UFC is. They get paid
much bigger.
Like it's kind of I don't remember what I was reading exactly. I think it was the Dillian. Okay, so Tyson Fury is in contract right now. He's going to fight Dillian White soon. I think this spring in a couple months in April. I'm not sure exactly, but I think I saw the payday where it was Dillian White. Even if he loses, I think he's going to make close to $5 million.
Yeah, there's no reason that
$5 to $8 million.
There's no reason that a boxer should be making that much more than the UFC
and
heavyweight
you said,
champion.
what was UFC?
500K.
Yeah, that is a significant amount, and that's if he loses.
No, that's no. 250K is if he loses.
No. I'm talking about Dillian White.
Oh yeah.
In boxing, because he's fighting Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. My opinion.
It'll be rough.
His opinion.
If Ngannou gets it done with Fury, it'll probably be like a $40 million payday.
It'll be a lot.
It'll be insane,
especially if he wins.
Even
if he wins.
Even if he loses, it'll be like 30 mil.
It's still gonna be bigger in a UFC payday.
Exactly.
Boxing paydays are insane.
Yeah, I know. So
you saw what Floyd Mayweather did.
This is very, very big.
You see what Jake Paul's doing.
Exactly. So real quick though, I do want to talk about the actual fight itself because did you watch it?
I did not.
Okay, so Ngannou is probably the best knockout artist in UFC history. He has the most aggressive knockouts. He's probably one of the strongest people to ever be in the promotion. And he went into the fight. Only his team and him knew this. He had a torn MCL and a damaged ACL going into the fight. He proceeded to lose the first 2 rounds and then wrestled the last 3 rounds, kept Cyril Gane on the mat, one of the best maneuverable guys in the division for his weight. He's 247 pounds and can move like somebody who's 160. He moves like a freak, right? He kept him on the mat for 3 rounds. He out-wrestled him for 3 rounds, a guy that we've never seen wrestle. He had a 100% knockout rate. The guy never made it past like the 3rd or 4th round, okay? He went all 5 rounds. He won the last 3 rounds and wrestled and showed a whole new side of his game. Whole new side.
With bad knees.
With a torn MCL.
With a bad knee.
Torn MCL. Most people can't walk with a torn MCL. This dude fought 5 rounds against one of the baddest people one of the hardest dudes in the division with it. Do you know how insane that is? And then he made $500K for it. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You know what I mean?
It's crazy for us. Okay, I hate if we go towards what?
I was gonna check something. Keep talking.
Okay. If we go towards NBA and NFL, I absolutely hate when people sit out for money because
we're waiting to fix a few things. This won't be the video one. The video hopefully the first video podcast will be the next one because maybe, hopefully, kinda. I don't know. We'll just go with whatever. We'll say maybe. Anyway, Where were we?
I was saying how I don't like when NBA and NFL. It doesn't happen as much in the NBA, but it's happened a couple times recently in the NFL where people sit out until they get paid.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, I get it. They want more money, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'm not in that position to where I just feel like a contract like that, you don't necessarily need that much in order to like what you already have is plenty to suffice your living needs. Like most people now, like what you just said, what we were just talking about of Ngannou, if like him making $500K off one fight, bro, people around here would kill for $500K.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
but it's different because you know how much pain, like
it's
your
hard
shelf
for me
life is so much shorter than a typical athlete because of how like much damage you really take.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why it's hard. It's a touchy subject. I don't know because I'm not in that position. I'm never going to be in that position to where I know what that money's like. Well, I'm never going to be in that position in an athlete way, at least.
Yeah.
To where I'm going to know what that money's like. So I don't know. It's I feel like most people like us that are on I don't want to say the regular level because they're people too, but that are on the average like lifestyle for money, I should say.
Okay.
It's different for us, and I feel like everyone like us agrees that they're making plenty of money and that they don't really need to sit out. But for his position, his a little bit different because that is a significantly less amount money than every other athlete makes.
Yes.
Significantly less.
Yes.
So he's a little bit different. And honestly, I think UFC, I mean, I say all the time, I like boxing so much more. I just think I like it better. It's just my personal opinion. But UFC is the hardest sport in the world.
Yeah.
Boxing's right after it, but UFC by far is the hardest sport in the world, in my opinion. And I think almost everyone can agree with that. And it's probably, I don't know. That I was gonna say it might be the most physically demanding, but it's probably not. It's probably more football.
Yeah.
With all the hits and all the hard hits and everything like that. But UFC's right up there with the amount that your body has to go through in order to be a great fighter.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I see where he's coming from. I've seen a decent amount about people not liking the UFC pay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a big thing, man.
I've never known much about it, so
yeah. But anyway, let's get past that. I'm sure we'll keep talking about the story as it goes on.
Yeah.
There's still a lot more that can and will happen with it. Sticking with the UFC just for a little bit more to round this episode out. There's a big fight card going down in Houston in 2 weeks. It is Israel Adesanya. I believe he is the. I want to say middleweight. I don't know. I think middleweight. Yeah, he's a middleweight champion versus Robert Whittaker, who lost to Izzy the last. Izzy got his belt from Whittaker. That's how he got it.
What's Whittaker in the rankings?
I believe he's number 1 contender. So,
damn.
Whittaker's last fight was in October or November. It was against Jared Cannonier, and he beat that man to a pulp. So it's gonna be an interesting fight because obviously not kickstarted really, but what shot Izzy into the atmosphere of the UFC, like what shot him into the stars was his knockout of Robert Whittaker the first time they fought. How crazy it was. That combo that he hit him with was insane.
When was that? When was the first fight?
Oh, it was a couple of years ago now.
Okay.
But it was a while ago. It was in Sydney actually, and Robert Whittaker is from Australia, so Izzy beat him in his home country. But yeah, he beat him in his home country, and then he had the whole machine gun celebration afterwards where he did like the fake machine gun, and that was a shot that would live forever, especially now on MMA TikTok. I see it about every other clip when it comes to Izzy. But also on the undercard we have Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa, 2 heavyweights that are going to be swinging and banging. I mean, these guys don't have any defense.
I was gonna say, isn't Derek Lewis is what, like is he top 5 or top 10 in?
He's top 5.
He's top 5
in what? In the rankings?
In the contenders.
Yeah, he's top 5.
Okay. I knew he was up there. I just didn't know if he was top 5 or 10.
He also has the most knockouts in heavyweight history in the UFC.
History, really?
History.
I remember I knew of him a while ago when I watched. I believe he was on the undercards of McGregor Khabib.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
And he fought someone, and he was getting his ass kicked. He was losing.
And out of nowhere.
In the last,
I think it was
10,
Volkov.
15 seconds.
Was it a big Russian guy? I think
he was Russian.
It was,
I don't remember
it was
his name,
Alex.
though.
It was Volkov.
Yeah. But he was, get his ass kicked. He was going to lose the game in decision, or lose the match in decision. And then, I don't remember what it was last. And I could have swore it was the last, 20 seconds of the match.
Yeah.
Just absolutely overhand right hook.
Yep, bodied him. Just boom, on the mat.
Right to the floor.
Yeah.
KO'd him.
Yeah.
And I remember, and that was, after that he had the interview after that, and that was when he was like, "My balls is hot."
Oh, yeah.
Because he took off his pants.
That's one of the most quoted lines in UFC history.
Yeah, because
Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was trying so hard not to laugh. I don't think you understand how hard he was really trying to not. And then he just laughed anyway. It's so hard. I mean, when you have like a killer like that say some silly ass shit like that, it's hard. It's really hard. But
I know about Derek, or I've known about him for a while just because of that.
Tai Tuivasa is either from New Zealand or Australia. I don't want to say which one because I don't know for sure, but he's one of the two. He's a killer. He's an absolute killer. I think that Derek Lewis wins. I don't think Tuivasa's ready. But early predictions for the main event, I'm taking Adesanya. I don't know if it's going to be by knockout this time. I could see this one going to the decision.
Is he still your favorite fighter in the world?
Is he?
Because when we watched him move up the heavyweight and fight that dude,
yeah,
it was because it was a champion at that time, but it was not Francis Ngannou.
No, it wasn't. He fought. He fought Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, that's who it was.
He
That was
moved
his
up.
first loss ever, I believe.
Izzy's up there.
That's when I got introduced to him.
I like Kamaru now too, man. I like Kamaru Usman.
Oh,
I love him. I do. I like Kamaru.
How long's he been?
A long
champion?
time.
It has been a long time.
At this point, it's a long time.
Well, he's the best fighter in the business, isn't he?
Yes, he's pound for pound the number one guy.
Yeah, that's what.
But I love Kamaru, man. Kamaru he used to be kind of like a quote unquote boring guy to watch, and these past couple fights he's gotten some knockouts. He knocked out Burns. He knocked out Masvidal in his last fight.
Didn't he fight Covington?
Is
that him or is that
his last fight? Oh, sorry, his last fight was Covington.
Okay.
He didn't beat. It went to the decision, but he still beat the hell out of him. It was a UD.
Who fought the lightweight?
Lightweight.
Gaethje.
Lightweight.
No, it wasn't Gaethje.
Yeah.
Poirier.
Poirier lost to Oliveira.
Oliveira, that's his name.
But Gaethje is fighting Oliveira next for the.
Dang, dude. See, this is another thing, bro. UFC, they always get the best fights possible.
Yeah.
Boxing is absolutely ass for that.
Borderline dead.
It is bad. I've been wanting Terrence Crawford and fucking Errol Spence to fight for the last, I don't even know how long. They've been chomping at each other forever, and I don't even think it's gonna happen next. I think they're both gonna have more fights, and it's not gonna happen until like December or next year in 2023. Terrence Crawford is 35. I love that man. He's one of my favorite fighters in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe even my favorite fighter in the world. And all I wanted to do is fight Errol Spence, and it's probably not gonna happen.
No.
If it does happen, they're gonna be too old.
Yeah.
And that is one thing specifically that I do not like about boxing is that there's so much chirping, there's so much, oh my God, fight me, I hate you, let's fight. Oh, I need this much money, and it just never happens.
Yeah.
They can talk all the shit they want, and it rarely ever happens.
Yeah. But I mean that's all we had to talk about for this one. So we're gonna quickly wrap this one up, and then we're gonna go straight into the next one and do do two at a time here. Hopefully the next one will be video. This one we kind of effed up with the whole camera situation. I think I fixed it, but I said that last time, so no promises. But this will be absolutely on Spotify and YouTube, just with a different, just with no video. I'll try and put some animations up to see, to fill the video aspect of it. But that's pretty much it, man. Until next one, which for you guys will be, I don't know which one I'm putting out first. This one might come out tomorrow, and then the other one for the predictions might go out Monday. Either way, you'll see them back-to-back days. And yeah, man, until next time, which will be the day after for you guys and 2 seconds for us. We're out. I'm out. See ya.
Peace.